Coming up on this week's episode of the Big Reviewski, it's Ryan Reynolds.
Took it to a place that they wouldn't even animate. They were just like, we're just not
It's gonna blur your mouth.
Yeah, but there was one controversial joke.
Greetings, movie fans. You're all very welcome to the Big Reviewski, brought to you by Omniplex Cinemas. My name is Owen, and can I get a drum roll, please? Oh. Please, because this is really... The excited face works as well. Keep drumming.
You don't keep drumming
I'm
forever.
delighted
I've got things to do.
to welcome to studio
Props.
three of my best friends in the whole entire world. It's Justine Stafford.
That did not pay off at all.
You have to keep drum rolling.
I'm not doing a drum roll myself. That's so narcissistic.
For the whole
Please
show.
also welcome Paul Moore and Rory
I
Cashin
feel like
as
I'm a
well.
gorilla at the start of 2001 just banging stuff at the moment.
That's it. That was it.
That's it.
I had nothing else for the start of the show this
Worst
week.
setup ever.
They're getting worse. Well, actually,
There's no segue, man.
there's no. I see you've got your diamond pen back.
Well, no, it's a different diamond pen because my last pen was diamond pen heisted.
It's alignment.
It's a cubic zirconium pen because I can't afford another one.
but where did you get this one?
It's the same place I got the last
In
one.
the diamond pen shop.
Yep.
On the floor.
Did you actually have a spare one just lying around?
Yeah, I have a few. Do you want one?
No, they're disgusting
All
looking.
right, tight.
Okay, but it is good to see it back. It's like an old friend.
It is. It's the pen of judgment. You know at any moment it could tick
If you see it out of the corner, you see the light kind of glints the cubic zirconia, you know there's
Did I
something
do good or
happening.
bad?
I feel like any pen that Rory holds is just a pen of judgment. It doesn't really matter what it looks
Mightier
like.
than the sword.
Pending
Yes,
doom.
it certainly is. Now, I know that each week the show is filled with what?
What did you say?
Pending doom.
Cross it off.
That's what I'm
That's
talking
it.
about.
That has to be a record. That has to be a record time.
I was like, oh, I got away with it. No one's going to bring it back.
That's a record.
Pen here is everywhere.
How many X's are we all allowed per show?
Allowed. None.
Yeah, none. Okay, bye, Justine. Drum roll, Justine's away.
Bah.
Yeah, no, as ever, we've got a cracker show for you. We're always jam-packed with unbelievable levels of hilarity and stupendous levels of sexiness, but this show is getting even more hilarious and even more sexy this week because we have none other... Very possibly, yes. We have Ryan Reynolds.
There's always room to improve.
The only way is up. We have Ryan Reynolds on the show, the star of Pokemon Detective Pikachu. So Rory had a chance to try and kiss him in real life, so that's coming up later. We also have some brilliant tickets to give away for Omniplex Cinemas and reviews of all the big releases this week. Up first, it's time for this week's big question. And for this week's big question, it's over to Rory Cashin.
Well,
Drum roll.
Drum roll.
Well, considering we have Mr. Ryan Reynolds on the show, someone who I think kind of blurs the line for a lot of people in that you probably think you would have a great night out with him and have a good few drinks, but a lot of people also want to bone his head right off.
Oh, yeah.
It's vigorous and it's necessary. But my question,
Natural reaction.
we always discuss the people we find very, very appealing to look at.
Yes.
And to spend time alone with in an intimate way. But out of everyone in the movie world, who would you reckon you think you would like be immediate BFFs with? No romantic or
Sexy time.
intimate boning sexy time involved whatsoever.
That-
Which I
That's
think
a big asterisk.
which I think
I don't know if
So
that's a
difficult.
real Venn diagram. I don't know if that exists.
well, yeah, would it
Yeah.
automatically
Crossover.
discounts Ryan Reynolds, I think, for all of us.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so-
So who did you go for?
Well, I was, as to use one of Paul's words, a little bit narcissistic in the decision because I was thinking of all the people I've been lucky enough to interview for Joe. And the one that came to mind immediately was someone that, like, the second I got into the room, I was like, "Oh, this is like a really
What's happening
easygoing
here?
rapport. Are we?
There's a
Best
connection.
friends immediately." And there was just a lot of laughing in the interview. So instead of me telling you, I can show you with a clip. Congratulations as well on your fantastic bromance with Scott Eastwood, because
Thank you so much.
that is
You know what's so funny? You make these movies and you don't know what the audience are going to pick up on.
yeah.
You know, you just never know. So this always cracks me up.
Did you know? Like, I was watching. I was like, this is like our generation's Top Gun. That's like the two of these men clearly love each other.
Yeah, right. It's so funny, so funny. But it was cool, you know. We had a tough time playing the scenes where we had to be, you know, kind of annoyed with each other because we were
Yeah.
like, we're cool, like one set, we're just chilling, and you know, it was fun though.
Because I was speaking to Stephen and he said one of his favourite scenes to direct was your ice cream scene. And I was like, in a film filled with giant robots and giant monsters, your favourite scene was John?
No, that was so fun. I made like 24 ice cream sundaes.
Were
was
you
going in.
unwell afterwards though?
I didn't eat much, you know. You don't have to eat it in shot.
There was a lot of sprinkles going in, John.
Yeah, there was yeah. I mean, that moment I had to have a big mouthful.
Sure.
But that was just me. That was just me just
treating yourself.
doing the Jake thing.
So for a split second, that clip started with just a picture of you. And it was like
Picked
Rory
himself.
just picked himself to be best friends with.
You know, if you can't live
Doesn't want
yourself,
to vigorously bone himself.
if you can't live yourself,
This is true. But it's actually...
if you can't, to paraphrase, I think RuPaul.
Yeah.
Mr. John Boyega.
Yeah. I chatted to him for Pacific Rim Uprising. You actually interviewed him before as well.
For The Force Awakens, yeah, lovely film.
And he
obviously didn't have the same connection that you immediately struck up with him.
Rory's nice.
Was your jumper game as strong either? Because
No, not at all.
Both of you
Not at
are.
I'm particularly proud of that jumper, and I was
Yeah.
very sad the day I guess my acidic armpit sweat burned a hole.
Oh no!
Right through
In the armpit.
Right through the armpit.
But that's the thing. That's the kind of thing you could talk to John Boyega about because he's
Yeah.
your best friend.
He'd understand that. He'd probably help me find like a proper deodorant.
You could swap
to,
each other's jumpers.
and he'd be able to
Rubbing
afford.
battery acid.
Look
on
how much
your-
he's laughing. Laughing his goddamn head
So
off.
wait, can I just check? Is the only reason? Does he say anything in this? It's just him laughing.
No, like we have a good time chatting to each other because he I think was vibing out my questions and I was really enjoying his answers. So
okay, so what I'm getting
we
from
have
this
good conversations.
is basically
We're laughing that much sober.
You want to be best friends with somebody who basically laughs at all your jokes.
Okay.
I think I can only be best friends with somebody who laughs at all my jokes.
Okay, that's fair enough. No, Boyega's a great shout.
He
always
seems like and he eats ice cream. I eat ice cream. He's seen
mean,
Top
it's
Gun.
meant
I
to
haven't
be,
seen Top
yeah.
Gun.
And he's just a fanboy. Like, you see him reacting when he got the Star Wars role and seeing the trailer. Like, he's just a big fanboy. So,
100%.
he sounds really
I
cool.
know it
as
looks
well.
like I'm looking over here, but I'm looking past
just
him
looking at
at
John
myself
Boyega the whole time.
interviewing.
Is there the stories about Star Wars he brought Harrison Ford to, like, for Nigerian food in Camden? When they took him off set and just, like, brought him back to his family?
Amazing.
Like, yeah. So John Boyega is just sound.
Maybe he'll do that for you someday.
I mean, fingers crossed.
Boyega is a great shout. Justine, who did you go for?
Well, I found this very difficult
like-
because of that,
What?
you know,
It's tough.
it's just, you know,
You wanna-
friends, but nothing more.
Yeah.
Like,
Nothing more. It
that
stops.
rules out a lot of people for me
Fair.
in the movie world.
Yeah.
But
And again, just for a bit of context for everybody, you are in a relationship with The Rock and Bo Burnham at the same time.
Exactly,
So like you have
I had to rule them
high
right out,
standards, and you
yeah.
meet a lot of famous people.
They watch
all the
every
time.
week.
They
Yeah.
do.
They're clued in.
backstage. Yeah. So
Yeah.
difficult afterwards. I'm like, who do I go talk to first? You know, but yeah, if I had
I
to
think it's The Rock because he's bigger.
True. But if I had to pick someone alive or dead to go for a pint with, I'd
We getting a Bernie's job.
probably pick alive.
Tight.
But no, okay, so I took some consideration on this and I was just thinking, who would just be great crack I could totally get on with and that we could just be platonic, maybe, who knows, and have a great time. And I picked Amy Schumer.
Very good.
Yeah.
That's a great
Because
shout.
she's part of that whole group, like Jennifer Lawrence and Emma Stone. So you can, me and her hit up the town. We're talking all comedy, all the comedians. I'm like, who would I bang? I'm listening out to her. She's like, so would I. We're having a great time.
So ultimately, everything comes back to that.
Look it, you know, I just think we'd
That
get
is
on.
a tough hurdle to get over, to be fair.
It bloody was, Rory. That was
I
a
know.
tricky question. And I think we would have a lot in common. Just from watching her stand up, I'm like, yeah, we relate on a lot of things. And then, yeah, you go hit the town, we meet up with J-Law, we got Emma Stone on board, and we are girl
We
grouping.
didn't pick J-Law or Emma Stone.
I was
But
going to
they
say,
would put
so
you in connection.
I was
In
going to say,
connection,
so she's
yeah.
kind of like your gateway. To
Hard now
more
that she had
stars.
she had her kid,
And I
didn't
mean,
she,
she
this
just
week?
had a baby,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
she's going to be mad for pints.
She is up for the
She
crack.
is gonna
Straight
be
away.
She will
straight away.
ignore that kid.
100%.
But how hard must have been to be pregnant at the exact same time as the royal baby, though? Because, like, every picture of Meghan, she's looking stunning, and poor Amy is like, you know, she's just being a real gal, being preggers.
But that's the thing, you see, because you're her best friend now, so you can
I
just
can
go
reassure
around, you can
her.
chat about that
Yeah.
and, like, put her mind at
Totally.
ease.
Yeah.
You,
Definitely.
Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah, and Emma
all them,
Stone, all your friends.
Tight.
We will all become one girl group.
And The Rock as well. Probably you'll introduce them to The Rock, and then,
Yeah.
you know, be like a Hollywood
Can you
super
imagine
group.
the movie, guys? It'll just
cannot.
be-
It's like the poster is New Year's Eve all over again. All the faces, they're all there. Ludicrous is back.
Yes.
No, Amy Schumer, another quality choice. Paul, what about you?
I went for something that Rory mentioned earlier as well, that I think it's an important question that you need somebody, because when you chat to these people, we've been lucky enough all to chat to them, that they're all lovely, and I've never met anyone who I didn't really enjoy talking with, but they do live in a different world. Like they're like doors open for them, they get A-list, everything's free to them, they never have to pay for anything in their life. So you need to have someone that's like a little bit grounded, so they're not, so they're kind of slightly realist as well, that they can kind of understand stuff. And I've gone for someone who's a bit older than me, but he has some cracking stories to tell, and he's just really fun on a night out in the tiles. So I went for Mr. Tom Hanks.
Woo!
Because
Those are great.
Tom Hanks,
yeah.
because if you follow him on Twitter, he's great. That's a picture of him, if anyone's listening. He has this thing that he actually like randomly photobombs people on a night out, and there's a picture of him like taking the piss out of a lad who's passed out, a college student. And so he's like, even though he's like 50 odd now, I'd say probably even older, he's just crazy. And also in terms of the stories he'd have, working with Spielberg, working with, like, he's Hollywood royalty, but he still seems really normal and cool and chilled. And he has this thing on Twitter, doesn't he, like retweet things that are lost or like randomly showed up. He's like, so he seems like he's dead easy to chat with. And also he knows everyone in Hollywood, so we get into all the good parties. Yeah.
There's a like a pattern emerging here where everyone's like,
If you can't have sex with them,
can you
better
get me
introduce you to
Can
the
you get me
pages.
into like some kind of weird Hollywood sex party, please?
I can't have sex with you. I want to
Yeah.
meet people through you.
He's married,
I
like
can't
he's
have sex with
married,
best
so like
friend.
it's strictly platonic. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
And
I just want to be my friend.
And he did he did that lovely thing for the two twins
Yeah, he said.
down in
Yes.
Cork as well.
Yes.
Because they're massive Toy Story
You'll never
fans
get
as
turned
well.
away from a party if you're with Tom Hanks. He's like the
Definitely
nicest
not.
person, you know? Yeah.
Imagine he got really drunk and just like really just mouthed off at people. No, it would never happen. It wouldn't happen.
Yeah. It's
No,
Woody,
another.
man. Woody can't be bad.
Yeah, another amazingly strong choice. This is a good lineup. The
Owen,
pressure,
yeah.
the pressure is on.
Pressure's on.
So again, as Justine said, it's kind of tough because a lot of the people that you do want to spend time with who are famous and up on the big screen, there is that immediate attraction to them as well.
Yes.
So many people immediately ruled out. But then I thought, well, what is one way to kind of keep that attraction at bay? And my one kind of involves two people, and they come as a unit, and it's John Krasinski and Emily Blunt.
That wouldn't
That's
keep
cheating.
anything at bay.
Jesus, that's just double.
You've just doubled your problem.
No, but it's not a problem because they're together,
Yes,
and
I
that's
know.
fine.
But you
No.
was one person,
No.
singular.
I think of them as one person. No.
No, because they'd be
No.
like,
Come on.
coming over.
What, you reckon they would
Three's
be
a
up for that?
crowd. Yeah.
Look, he's pointing
Look
at
at
you.
it.
He's calling
And she's
you.
like,
She's giving you the
Yeah,
wink.
she's up for it. Yeah. Well, again,
no.
They're both equally sound. You had to choose one. They're both equally righty.
they come
But
as
you
a
would-
unit.
yeah.
They come as a
Sounds
pair. It would never. One thing would never lead to
Oh,
another.
yeah, it
with them.
would. Totally.
Yes, it would.
Oh God, I hope so much.
He give you that, he just give you the gym look. He just turned to your camera,
That's
just
it.
right down the barrel,
Look at that
and then you'd be
beard.
gone.
I'd
John
be-
Krasinski's got a good one too.
I'm sorry, but Emily would be seeing very little of me in that scenario. I'd be taking John away. Yeah.
From Emily?
Yeah.
Do that. You
Oh.
can't split them up. No.
That's the ultimate like
Yeah,
Hollywood.
home
I'm
wrecker.
going to be Emily
They're the
Blunt
only
about
people-
it
If they
here.
break up,
No,
I will
love
be
doesn't
heartbroken.
exist. Yeah.
No, they are perfect. Yeah,
Emily
They are.
and John.
No,
They
I
are.
know, but I'm saying
Just be their third and be happy about it.
So
If
Owen
you
wants to
see-
explain why he wants to be their third.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, obviously, they're I didn't cheat.
You did
but-
cheat because
It's a
you,
bit of a
if you
me
like,
answer here.
if Emily Blunt was
Every
like,
other person
if
I
Emily
picked-
Blunt was like, so would you be like, nah, mate,
Nah, pal,
I
John
genuinely thought your answer
Krasinski.
was going to be a CGI character here.
So
I was
did I.
like, that rules out.
Dog from Up.
That would have been the dog voiced by
Steve the
Kevin
Monkey.
Costner. That's
Steve the Monkey
character.
actually would be high up there.
He'd
Yeah.
be brilliant. No, one thing would definitely lead to another with Steve the Monkey. But no, so that was my choice. John Blunt and Emily Krasinski. Yeah, the Krasinski Blunts. That hasn't. So I'm not
Rory,
allowed.
I
my
don't
one.
believe you. I don't
I
believe.
can't tell you to put crosses down. It's very much your own prerogative, but I think that's worthy of a
Fine.
cross.
You, like you.
Steve Buscemi then. That's it.
Why not?
We're
Yeah.
sorry, Steve.
Yeah,
You
sorry
know?
about that, Steve,
Yeah.
but it's never going to happen. So yeah, if you'd like to tell us which Hollywood star you'd like to be friends
two
with,
of them. Yeah.
but never ever want to have sexual intimate relations with them, please
Like
do.
Emily Blunt.
Like Emily Blunt, yeah.
Yeah.
Please do let us know. Now it's time for the big trailer. And there have been some amazing trailers released this week. So,
Oh my God.
well, first of all, there was the Sonic one,
Sure.
which got an interesting reaction.
And his
No.
teeth.
Yeah.
Not the Sonic one. Take it easy, Rory. There was, but ever since then, like they're going back to the
They're
drawing
do-
board with the
yeah.
design of Sonic, strictly due to
How
fan
do
feedback.
we feel about that?
Oh,
I
it's-
saw the tweet going out from the director, and I was like, does he mean that they're actually going to go back and change? Because they've got posters out there, they've got the trailer out there. They're going to have to change the entire look. Well, I don't know. Has it happened before ever? Anything like that?
Nothing. I don't ever recall
There
like
was
them being so
Spider-Man. Was it
publicly.
Spider-Man took the two towers out from the promo material because obviously horrific
Yeah,
incident.
yeah.
They did something like that.
Right,
I think that's the only thing I
It's
can
never
remember.
been a fan reaction
Yeah.
that's caused the
Yeah.
change.
Yeah.
So that was one trailer. That's not our trailer, though.
No.
There was another one. There was Spider-Man: Far From Home.
trailer.
But great trailer, but not going to talk about that because it does give away spoilers for Endgame. And I know, Justine, you are on the edge of your
Yeah.
seat about that one. So it wasn't that.
Careful.
So through the process of elimination, and
fall right
this
off.
was definitely not first choice. No, of course it was. I actually feel bad even picking this one because it feels like
Yeah.
this is not my trailer to talk about.
No.
It is. Roy's going to fight me. It is, of course, Crawl, which has been hyped up by one man and one man only, Mr. Rory Cashin, as 2019's The Meg, only better. So before we get into the trailer, here's a wee look at it.
Haley, are you hurt?
I'm fine. Hello, can anybody hear me? I'm trapped with my father in our house in Gorley.
Riley!
Please send help.
Haley!
Wait, down here.
Pete, you hear that? In less than an hour, we'll be underwater. Banging on the pipes. Where's their senses? I can distract them for you. You got this! You need to go now.
I'm not leaving you here. Come on, you son of a bitch!
So as everybody can see, it looks incredible. Lovely B-movie feel to it. Basically, the story of the film, there's a Category 5 hurricane. We all know what that means. So the house is filling up, flooding up with water. Barry Pepper is injured, seemingly under the house, however that happened.
Yep.
And his daughter, played by Kaya Scudelario.
As good an attempt as any.
Let's go with
Lanthimos.
That's the guy. She comes back to the house to help him out, but because of the flooding, the house is overrun with giant alligators.
They've turned
And
their
it's-
house into a nest
Yeah.
of baby alligators.
That's literally the entire premise. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. It's incredible. We did have. You had an earlier trailer. Was it earlier in the year that it was one of the big trailers as well?
For Crawl?
Or you were just really excited about it.
Yep.
That was it.
That was it.
But
I
you
heard the promos and I was like, oh, great. And then I seen who was directing it. I was like, oh, great.
It was one of the films you were most excited about as
It
well.
was my film
Oh,
of the year, yeah.
What about? Because you're also now.
No, it wasn't Hobbs and Shaw was my
Hobbs
film
and
of the year,
Shaw
but
was-
this is my other one.
yeah. The writers of the film are now.
Yes.
You've been in contact with them.
Yeah, really good friends. Maybe I can change my answer to those two
To
writer
those
guys.
two. Yeah.
Yeah, they've been very vocal about me being very vocal about really enjoying every aspect of this film.
I think you're the first journalist in the entire world to get behind the film, so that's nice.
It was like with the Meg last year.
Yep,
and then the author was
100%.
like, yo, here's the book. I was like,
So it's not out until
not
August, but I loved the trailer for it.
Yeah.
Had a couple of nice jumps in it, like the way the music is used and all. It's
The
good.
director does good stuff, actually. Switchblade Romance. Have you seen that?
Oh, so the
Unbelievably
director
good.
Alexandra
Aja did the
or
Hills of
Aja.
Eyes remake, which I thought had a bit going for it.
Aha.
And was it Mirrors, I think, the other one he did?
this is terrible.
Yeah.
Piranha
He
3D
did Piranha
was good.
3D was a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
fun. Yeah.
Horns, that Daniel Radcliffe one where he
Oh, that
was
was him
like
as
the
well.
devil, I guess.
So as we said, it's not out until August, but definitely even more excited after seeing the trailer. But with all your excitement levels already up to here, Rory, did the trailer live up to expectations?
Yeah, because it doesn't look like you're saying it looks cheesy, or not cheesy, B-movie, and it does to an extent, but it looks like it's got some money in it. That little flood scene earlier on looks expensive. And the crocodiles don't look
That's the
poopy.
thing. Yeah, they actually look like real, because actually they're alligators. Yeah, get your facts right.
You know how you tell the difference?
Here we go.
An alligator will see you later, but you only see a crocodile in a while.
That's true.
That's how you.
Science.
That's the scientific.
Right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's resisting.
Yeah.
You put that cross there.
Welcome.
I can see it. He's
Do
resisting.
you know what? When you were saying as well, what was it, level 5 on?
Category 5 hurricane.
That reminds me. Remember you with the scale that made no.
DEFCON levels of
So I
excitement. Yeah.
noticed it was.
Now, the DEFCON scale does work. It's just Owen didn't know how.
I don't know how it works. Are they colours? What are they?
Shout number.
I've no idea. But yeah, as we said, it looks like, well, hopefully it delivers in a better way than the Meg did last year, because it was unfortunately
Alligators
a
in
little
a
bit
tornado. What else do you need?
Yeah,
But like,
exactly.
it doesn't have
Genuinely.
a Sharknado-y, like, well,
Yeah,
that's, okay, I get what you're doing with Sharknado. This looks like they're actually playing it as a thriller, which is good. And the two actors in it are good, and the special effects look good. And one of the jumps in the trailer was good. So
Yeah, really good. And it also looks like Yorgos Lanthimos in it,
Oh.
that she...
that's actually the curse of La Llorona.
I see. Well, it looks like she gets bitten numerous times in the
Dead.
trailer.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah, it's amazing that
and
they're
it
showing
looks
those bits.
violent. Like the very first scene has blood all over. It was like, great,
Yeah.
good. I hope it's
So
a proper
I loved
15s or
Piranha 3D.
16s.
It was
Yeah.
nuts.
Definitely need to go
Absolutely
back
bonkers. So here's
and
hoping.
revisit it.
I love that the sequel was called Piranha 3 Double D.
Yeah.
Because that was just letting you know.
Yeah, this is what
What
you're
you're
in for
in
here. So yeah, Crawl, we're going to have a new Megment. So
Justine, I really appreciate what you were calling it.
Crawl or nothing.
Crawl or
Crawl or
nothing.
nothing.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's our new...
So it's either 5 stars or 1 stars.
I think we're all going to go for 5 stars already. So,
I hope so.
yeah.
5 alligators out of 5.
2 crocodiles out of 5 alligators.
Anyway, moving swiftly
No
onwards.
bites.
We did promise you levels, extreme levels of hilarity and sexiness, and none of
welcome.
us,
Yeah.
none of us are able
And we
to deliver.
delivered.
None of us can
In
deliver that at
spades.
all. But one man who can do that is Mr. Ryan Reynolds. He is, of course, the star of the brand new Pokemon film, Pokemon Detective Pikachu. And Rory, again, fortunate enough to meet up with the lovely man and catch up with him about his time in Ireland. And just, because I know you were talking about Boyega having an amazing bromance with Scott Eastwood.
Yes.
But Ryan Reynolds has a particularly brilliant bromance with another Hollywood star as well. But before all that, here is a little look at the brand new film, which is out in cinemas this week. It's Pokemon Detective Pikachu.
Welcome to Rhyme City, a celebration of the harmony between humans and Pokemon.
Tim, your dad was a legend in this precinct. If you were anything like your dad...
I'm not.
I remember. You wanted to be a Pokemon trainer when you were young.
Yeah, that didn't really work out. Someone there? Whoever you are, I know how to use this.
Oh, jeez.
Here we go. I know you can't understand me, but put down the stapler or I will electrocute you.
Did you just talk?
Whoa. Did you just understand me?
Oh my God! You can understand me! Stop! I've been so lonely.
They try to talk to me all the time. All they hear is Pika Pika.
You can hear him, right?
Pika Pika!
Yeah, Pika Pika Pika, he's adorable.
You're adorable. They can't understand me, kid.
Can no one else hear him?
I wish I could go back and introduce that clip again because I had a much better way of leading into it.
Well, let's pretend
Do you wanna
the
hear it
last time
anyway?
didn't happen.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
okay.
Put down,
Okay,
put down
so-
the camera and go.
Yeah, so let's take a sneak a peek at Detective Pikachu. What do you think? Was it worth bringing it up?
That was Rika.
So what do you think of it?
What?
Rory,
Reeked like
what
it
did
reeked.
you talk to Ryan Reynolds about, please?
That joke.
Good Lord. I can't get past the okay, so we talked about his aggressive bromance with Hugh Jackman. We talked about the how he's very funny in an adult way, from like Deadpool and The Change Up and all the very funny swearing that he does. And if it's difficult to get a handle on that when you know the movie you're in is aimed specifically at families, and Pikachu is pretty much one of the most adorable,
Pure.
Yeah,
pure
so
beings in the
cute.
world. So Ryan Reynolds doesn't come immediately to mind when you're thinking of purity, as you'll see from the very start of the interview.
So this is an interesting start, which
It
is
is
great
an interesting
because
start.
whenever they were, they're obviously like they're setting up the mics and the lights and everything in the room, and yourself and Ryan have a little moment together.
Well, I wouldn't put it that way so much, but it's like his camera wasn't rolling yet, and the people setting up the room were like, right, we need you to just sit perfectly still, because if you move in any way, you're going to be out of focus. So I thought that was a funny opportunity to make what I
flirt,
thought at
to
the time
flirt.
was an innocent
To
joke.
flirt.
An innocent joke.
Flirtatious joke.
And Ryan being Ryan, he batted it right back. So, you know.
Yeah, let's take a sneak a peek at
God damn it.
Where you are is great. If you wouldn't mind just staying seated back, that would be perfect. Just for our frame, it's a little bit tight.
I'll only move my mouth.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind not falling onto my lap during the proceedings.
And let me know when you're
I'll
ready.
do my best.
Yeah.
I am going to kick off with a prerequisite Irish question.
We're rolling, Rory.
Because I know you were in Ireland recently.
I was, yeah.
You were? Did you have a good time when you were over there?
I had the best time when I was over there because I wasn't working.
That's
My wife
right.
was,
Yeah,
like, was
on
doing a movie, yeah.
rhythm section.
Yeah.
So what did you get to do? Anything prerequisitely Irish?
I got to do everything. I just toured around and every day just wandered the city, sort of aimlessly, set to some kind of sad song. I loved it, actually. I saw the countryside, I saw the city, I saw museums, I went into galleries, I just ate it up. I loved it.
Because I know you do have some Irish ancestry. Well, according
Yeah.
to IMDb, Irish American grandmother.
It is, yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's fun.
I have some family that way back was, I think, in Galway, I think.
Oh, cool.
I think, yeah.
I can't believe Ryan Reynolds was just wandering around Ireland doing absolutely nothing, like just been off work,
Where
going
were
to
we?
galleries, going to
Working.
pubs,
Where
just having the
were
crack,
we?
like
Booms.
working,
Yeah.
working, yeah.
So like I never heard of him on like Twitter, and no one really noticed him at all.
Keeping a low
I
profile.
love that, to be fair, because you know when celebrities go to other countries and they're just people mad all over them. I love that they can come here, and like I remember was Beyonce here and people just no one went near her, and I love that.
Because she was in a
he's
giant
hi-
castle in the middle of the country. There's like no one could get
True.
there.
Yeah.
Maybe he's hiding in Nobber. There you go. Just stay.
He's dead,
Possibly,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
I'm a grown up.
I'm not going to say anything.
No, there was one night where I arrived in a pub in Dublin, and my mates were like, "You'll never guess who's just left."
Stop.
Oh no,
And
Pikachu.
I was like, a friend of ours, a mutual friend of ours, like, "No, Ryan Reynolds has been here for a while. He's just left." I was like,
He heard you were coming.
Stop. What was he drinking?
"He'd left. I wasn't there."
Pikachu's. Oh, it
What's
doesn't
wrong
work.
with
It
you?
doesn't work. I'm so
It's
sorry.
not funny.
It's not funny at all.
You're better than this.
Well, I'm not. What else did you talk to him about?
So the next bit was, well, again, like it's Ryan. So I imagine there was a lot of attempts at jokes that probably went outside the boundaries of what Nintendo and Warner Brothers were like. Oh no, kids film, keep it tight.
It's hard for him going from Deadpool.
Yeah,
to that,
not
then.
Deadpool anymore.
Yeah.
No, no, no.
Yeah, and like even like at his most innocent, I guess, would be like the proposal with Sandra Bullock, which is still the scenes in that where the two of them are just nude running into each other, so it's still kind of raunchy a little bit. So yeah, like we got talking and he revealed there was one particular joke that he was like, this is fine. And it ended up causing a bit of a controversy behind the scenes with Warner Brothers who were like, it's actually not fine. So Ryan Reynolds, Warner Brothers, I want to hear the joke. You are probably my favourite swearer in the world. When you swear, I crack up. What's it difficult? Is there like a lot of bloopers where you're like, what?
Oh.
Just dropped an F-bomb.
No, but like there's I forget some of the words, but there's some of the words you're like don't exist in the Pokemon world. So like I forget exactly what they were. I remember there were a few where we can't talk about that because that doesn't exist in our world. But there are definitely some bloopers.
Oh really?
Where I took it to a place that they wouldn't even animate. They were just like, we're just not gonna.
It's gonna blur your mouth.
Yeah, but there was one controversial joke that I felt was fine for a movie of this caliber, for an all-audience kind of movie, but it got a little controversial behind the scenes. There was a big debate internally at Warner Brothers about this one joke, but it worked out. They didn't use it, but maybe they'll have it on the.
Oh, they
extras.
didn't use it because I thought it might have been the birth canal joke because that was.
No, it
brilliant.
pushed it a little bit more than that, but it was more about letting the audience use their own imagination rather than me actually saying the thing that was in front of me. So it's fun because Pikachu just sort of has a running commentary over everything that he's doing.
Yeah.
All over. He's kind of, in a way, sort of like a version of Deadpool but that like everyone can see.
And a bit cuddlier.
Yeah,
than
a lot
Deadpool too.
snugglier.
So we didn't actually get to hear the joke there.
No, Warner Brothers won out on that one.
So they've barred it from this show as well. Okay.
Yeah, but it might be on like the eventual Blu-ray DVD
18th
release. But like, there's plenty of other jokes in the actual film.
Mm-hmm.
Just not ones that maybe might upset the kids.
Again, though, you don't care about kids, so you're like, whether they get upset or not, you're like,
I'd actually prefer they were upset.
Yeah.
So
the reason you said we were obviously all picking our best friends or the people we would love to be our best friends in Hollywood is because
we're best friends.
We're best friends. Ryan Reynolds does have this very special ongoing relationship with Mr. Hugh Jackman.
Yes.
So this is like they've taken this into the public sphere. Like they kind of tweet each other.
Yeah.
They give each other messages like through interviews and all this kind of
Make
stuff.
adverts. Do the coffee.
No, what was the coffee one?
Oh my God. So Hugh Jackman has a coffee company and Ryan has the gin company and they both made an ad for each other. And Hugh made this like lovely ad for Ryan, and then Ryan's was just so cutting of no, it was the other way around. Ryan's was so lovely and Hugh's was so cutting. You need to watch them. They're hilarious.
That's YouTube later.
Yeah, get on that.
And don't the two of them pick on Jake Gyllenhaal as well? They're always like, he's like the nerdy one that's the two of them make fun of all the time.
Oh God, it's too much handsome in that.
That's
That's a triangle of handsomeness.
That's a lot to take. But yeah, so it's like, have you got a nice message you'd like to send to Hugh? But it turns out he sends them on his own all the time anyway. So
didn't need you to prompt him.
No.
Here he is.
One of my favorite things that has ever happened in the world of Hollywood is the interesting dynamic bromance between yourself and Hugh Jackman. Like every update, I'm like, more, give me more. Is there anything?
It's piping hot.
Is there anything in particular you'd like to say to Hugh right now?
Oh, well, I could just text him, the usual array of emojis I do each Saturday morning.
Oh, just a nice
I arrange
wake-up
them
call.
in sort of fun shapes and bouquets and all kinds of stuff, just really clog up his cell.
That's a good way to start the weekend.
It's all well and good chatting to beautiful, hilarious Ryan Reynolds,
Yeah.
but what everyone wants to know is the film any good? Because we were talking before about being Pokemon fans. I know, Paul, you've got a bit of a Pokemon background, you were saying, or when you recognise the whole bunch
like
of
I
them
remembered
anyway.
a few of them, like just because I'm aware of pop culture and stuff. Like I can name a few, like Squirtle, Bulbasaur, Charizard, Jigglypuff. I'd run short after that, but I think I had the game on the Game Boy, so like I would know a few.
Rory, did you have any like kind of prior knowledge of the Pokemon?
I was aware of it when it first came out, and nothing since then. Like I know this is apparently based on a video game where you are a detective, but also Pikachu. So that's news to me.
Detective Pikachu.
I didn't think he was capable of detecting.
Yeah. Sleuthing.
Okay.
What So what is the premise of the film? Because I know he's wearing that little
He's got his little Sherlock Holmes hat. Yeah, because that's how you know he's a
stalker.
detective. Well, he is kind of discovered in the empty apartment of a missing man by his son who has been looking for him. And the son is like, I don't want any Pokemon. None for me, thanks. And only he can actually hear Ryan Reynolds' voice. Everyone else just hears like Pika Pika whenever he's talking. Pika Pika. So they team up to find out what happened to his missing dad. And also why it is that Pika has no memory of who he was before he met the son.
Layers.
It's a detective mystery in the world of Pokemon.
I can tell already that you loved it.
See, here's the thing. Here's the thing. And I'm going to phrase this really delicately. None of us here have, I assume, ever done drugs. We don't advocate drug use.
We do not.
Absolutely not. I imagine if you were on drugs, this is the exact oscillation your brain would be at to understand what is happening in this film. Because there are so many times where I was just like, I don't know what's going on. I just had no idea what was happening like 90% of the time. Like Ryan Reynolds is the narrator of the movie, and like he's kind of our way in to this world that maybe if you're a really big fan of the game or the Pokemon lore, you'll totally understand. But because Ryan is playing Pikachu who has no memory, he's essentially as lost and confused as we are, which is kind of smart, because if you're going in blind, you'd be like, great, it's not just me, it's also the lead character in the film.
Yeah.
But it's so bizarre and bonkers, and also at the same time, just like when the plot is revealed, like why everything has happened, you're like, what? I'm none the clearer as to what has happened in the last 90 minutes. It's a unique cinema going experience. That's how I'll put it.
My natural instinct is to think that it's going to be like Ted, because Ryan's playing bloody Pikachu, and there'll be this dirty, like funny. But then you're like, no, there's not a bloody. It's all PG. Really.
Yeah, there's not a bloody at all.
No blood.
Everything's like family friendly, and there are a few jokes from Ryan that like will fly over the heads of kids, not because they're necessarily naughty, but just because the intelligence behind them is just that bit higher, and that's great. But like on the other hand, you've got Rita Ora playing a geneticist who's creating more Pokemon for reasons that
I'm sold.
I could watch it 2 or 3 more times, and I feel I'd only get further away from it the more I watch it.
So you're going to see Avengers Endgame multiple times, and also Pokemon Detective Pikachu as
just to piece together
what the heck is going on. No, because there seems to be a generally positive reaction, like from people like online. But again, I think for Pokemon fans, they seem to be really enjoying, or they're happy with kind of the adaptation up onto the big screen then as well.
Sure.
The film was leaked online last night.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
1.5 hours of just Pikachu dancing. It's great.
I'd watch that.
I watched the
5
full
stars.
thing. Yeah.
5 alligators out of 5.
Which is as strong a narrative as
wow.
as what you're watching here.
Yeah.
It's like I almost would recommend it fully to see at what point were you like, no,
I'm out.
I actually don't know what's happening.
Okay.
And just let the rest of it wash over you. But Ryan Reynolds is really, really, like, he has some really, really funny one-liners in it. So
it's just a pity you can't see him in the film.
I don't know, like Pikachu's pretty cute in it.
Yeah, but
So adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really cute.
So Pokemon Detective Pikachu is out in cinemas this week. One of the other big releases is The Hustle, starring Anne Hathaway and Rebel Wilson as a pair of con artists.
Is this seat taken? I'll just get a glass of water, please. I have to save all my money because I'm here to find my sister. She's been taken.
Taken? Like
By men who sell hot white virgins to cajillionaires on yachts.
I am very moved by your story. Order anything you like.
I'll have a club sandwich and an order of fries, 2 slices of cake. Do you want any cake?
No.
3 slices of cake and a Diet Coke.
Impressive.
I'm a con artist.
Sisters in arms.
I had no idea how small time I was until I met you.
Penny, why are women better suited to the con than men?
Because we're used to faking it.
Because no man will ever believe a woman is smarter than he is.
Is it valuable?
$500,000.
I like it because it's shiny.
I could be the partner you never knew you needed. Teach me your sugar baby ways. Take this to the guest room, butlery person.
First, listen. There's nothing more compelling to a man than a vulnerable woman. Observe.
Wow, you can just tear up like that. Can you make the tear roll down your cheek? Oh.
Now you try. Are you constipated?
Paul, are you a fan of Rebel Wilson, Anne Hathaway, comedy duo?
I like Pitch Perfect now, Rebel Wilson, and I have to say, some of the other stuff, not that big a fan of, if I'm perfectly honest. Anne Hathaway, I can take her leave, I really can. Like, I didn't mind her as Catwoman in Dark Knight Rises. Like, she wasn't the biggest glaring issue in that. Les Mis, she was very good. Rachel Getting Married is unbelievably good. That not enough people have seen it. She's unbelievable in that.
Devil Wears Prada.
Devil Wears Prada, yes. And then, like, The Princess Diaries is not for me.
Very aggressive there, I don't know why.
Devil Wears Prada.
I think it's because I still hate her boyfriend, didn't he? And all of her mates are like, how dare
That's
you
your man from
have a
Entourage, isn't
career
it?
of your own?
Adrian
You forgot about
Grenier,
us.
not the boyfriend.
that's
Yeah,
him.
the guy
Yeah.
from Entourage.
What a dope.
And Princess Diaries, I know they have like a massive cult, just not my type of film, but like it's probably decent. Nah, I'm dead inside. Never gonna be a princess.
Yeah.
No point.
Eat, Love, Pray, wasn't that her as well?
That was Julia
Equally
Roberts.
loves Julia Roberts.
Oh.
But
But there's a spitting image of each other, yeah, so I can see how that could
But I
could
do.
happen.
Rachel Get Married, I loved. But no, I'm curious to see something about her. I don't know if comedy is her good fit. So that's why I'm very curious to see what this is like. Because there's something about her, like she just seems too dramatic and serious to pull off a comedy for my taste. But I don't know.
Well, I kind of imagine in this one she's playing the straight, and Rebel Wilson gets the majority of the gags.
Well, it's a remake of Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Oh, right.
Which was Michael Caine and
Steve Martin.
Yes. So she is like Anne Hathaway is kind of the Michael Caine, the kind of uppity posh
Michael
one.
Caine.
Sure. Complete with weird English accent, actually. And Rebel Wilson is kind of the rough, gruff one. And they kind of end up teaming up to take down a tech billionaire. And it's cleverly, kind of like Ocean's 8, it was clever to lean into the fact that Anne Hathaway, for some unknown reason, is just generally unliked by the general public. So her being unlikable in this film is a smart choice, but Rebel Wilson has gone the way of like earlier Melissa McCarthy, where she was playing one-note, loud, screaming person in all of her movies, and it's the same in this again. And it was odd because the director's Chris Addison, who I think has directed a lot of Veep.
Yeah, and he starred in the thick of it as well.
Yeah. He's a really, really funny man. So I laughed exactly once during The Hustle. It was an hour and 10 minutes in. An hour and 10 minutes in, because I checked my clock a lot. And I realised I had laughed because during the hour and 10 minutes, in a fairly full press show full of journalists, no one had laughed once.
Holy guacamole.
And I laughed because it was so quiet.
Oh, that's what you laughed
and
at.
jokes were happening on the screen. And I was like,
Oh, that's disappointing. Because I thought it looked like a perfect kind of date movie.
I thought it looked like cheap laughs in the trailer, if I'm perfectly honest.
I'd take a cheap laugh.
The good version of the female remake of Dirty Rotten Scoundrels already exists, and it's called Heartbreakers, with Sigourney Weaver and Jennifer Love Hewitt, which is a fantastic heist comedy, if that's what you're in the market for. But this was bad. Like,
work for you.
One of the worst films I've seen all year.
Oh, no.
So,
well, moving swiftly onwards from that into potentially one of the ones you were most excited about, because a few weeks back you picked the trailer for High Life.
Yes.
Because you were very excited about it, understandable.
Sexy space.
It's a sexy space sci-fi thriller. It ticked all your boxes. Mr. Robert Pattinson and Juliette Binoche. Sweet Lord.
And that one with the name, Mia Goth.
Mia Goth as well, of course. So it's also released this week. So maybe if cheap laughs in the hustle is not your thing, or cute little, lovely, adorable Pokemon, it might be sexy space, sexy.
There's a lot of S's.
Too many S's. But let's take a wee look at High Life.
We were scum. Trash. Refuse that didn't fit into the system. Until someone had the bright idea of recycling us to serve science.
The odds are not in our favor. But when my work is accomplished, when perfection is achieved,
Then what? Fly away?
I know I look like a witch.
You're foxy and you know it.
This mission can't turn our shame into some type of glory. I can't do this flying around no more.
So this one looks a little bit heavier than the others because the trailer's all da-da, da-da. It seems very RD.
That was very close to a word I hate.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just quoting the trailer.
And I don't care how many tweets by Drax you retweet.
Trying to defend.
Dave Bautista was tweeting about how it's absolutely fine to say daddy.
That was based on Camille, I can't remember her name, but like calling his gym instructor daddy mid-workout.
And he was embarrassed.
A living
and said
nightmare.
He's never going back there.
Drax,
he knows.
I'm on his side and he's on my side.
And
He's got
he
my
never
back,
makes
so it's
things
sorted.
uncomfortable in those films at all.
So he says dada in the film, or in the
Yeah.
trailer, sorry, not daddy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
It is the story of a group of convicts who are used by the government on Earth to test out new spaceships and try to like do scientific discoveries while they're out there. So that's their way of, in lieu of actual prison time, they do all this space stuff instead, not causing any trouble while they're out there. But what trouble could be caused by a group of convicts in a very confined, confined space?
Nothing
ever gone wrong in
Alien
space.
3, fine. Yeah,
Nothing could ever, especially, well, all right. So Robert Pattinson is one of them, and at the start we're introduced to him and that baby that you see in the
tiny human.
Yes, that you see in the trailer. Like there's two of them at the start, and it seems to be just the two of them on the spaceship. And then we go back, and the spaceship is full of all these people, including Juliette Binoche, who is a science doctor, no less, and she is trying to get one of the female passengers pregnant using one of the male convicts to see if it's possible at all to get people pregnant in space, because I think there's something like to do with gravity maybe will cause problems. Let's say that.
Let's go with that.
They didn't really.
Sounds legit.
They didn't like super go into detail about it, so neither will I. Yeah, so that's the plot, if you can call it that. It's really like a super mood piece where it's very pretty to look at. I'd say it has about 1/1,000,000th the budget of Interstellar, because it all looks like it was shot in two different hallways with like a different light. So you're like, oh, we're on the orange hallway.
Turn on the blue light.
Pattinson's really good in it. Juliette Binoche is really good in it. It is a tad slow, like, and that's a nice way of saying at times you're like, oh God, you're actually like broken Einstein's theory of relativity, because this is super slow, and then all of a sudden there's like a super violent scene, or what I've seen described as the sexiest single-person sex scene in cinematic history.
Oh wow!
Which is when I seen it, I was like, how sexy can it be? And then I watched the scene, I was like, oh, pretty goddamn sexy.
Okay.
But also like properly creepy at the same time. So there's a lot to like, and if you're looking for something very different to the other releases this week, I think there'll be a lot to talk about afterwards, but do prepare yourself for the long haul, because it is a touch slow.
Okay. But like in terms of big kind of space-based releases, everyone's still going along to see, well, most people, along to see Avengers Endgame. I know you got a chance to see it again, but as you said, if you're looking for something completely different, then this one's for
like as different from Avengers. Not a lot of solo sex scenes in Avengers Endgame.
No, not that I remember.
There's some in this, and when the violent scenes in it, because the film is taking its time doing anything, when it does come along, you are like, oh,
it's pretty explosive.
God Almighty! But yeah, it's a film that once it's over, you'll probably want to read a lot of think pieces about it, because you're like, what could that have meant? And it turns out everyone has a different opinion on what specific stuff could have meant, which is good.
Yeah, definitely.
If you want to learn more about the film. And Pattinson's continuing his direction away from what he was. He's actually fully a properly brilliant actor now. Which is
good
great.
time is great,
but I will be... Isn't he doing a big blockbuster next year?
He's doing Christopher Nolan's one, yeah.
look forward to that. So that's an interesting selection this week. We've got High Life, The Hustle, and Pokemon Detective Pikachu, as well as The Best of the Rest, which are all out.
Great time actually in the cinema now. I was just thinking that you got like Shazam, Wild Rose, you got Avengers. I saw Longshot, which is amazing. Like there's like about 7 or 8 great films you can choose from in the cinema.
Yeah,
right
because
now.
we were reviewing Longshot last week, and again, everybody that sees it just it seems to kind of take so many people by surprise. They were like, "Yeah, I'll give it a go and see what."
You're
the
spoiled
crack
for
is."
choice. If you're living on the moon for the last month and you're coming back, there's some good stuff.
There is an Omniplex on the moon.
Yeah.
So
And you can get that new My OmniPass thing.
Oh yes, that's right. We will have some My Omni passes to give away. More details on that next week. Not right now, and not for you, not for you, and not for you.
What about our alter egos?
Yeah, it's fine for those.
Yeah,
That's no problem.
Rory, what's his face? Who won?
Oh yeah, that's right. Who won the premiere tickets? Actually, speaking of tickets to give away, we want to say a big, perfect segue. A big congratulations to Paul Flanagan, who got the correct answer to last week's High Clue and bagged himself a pair of tickets to go and see Pokemon Detective Pikachu. So maybe he can let us know if he's figured out exactly what's going on in that. So last week's...
Yeah, do let us know.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
Last week's High Clue was Miller Time for Walt, Troop Hunting Brotherly Troop, One-Armed Heisenberg. So any thoughts on what this was? Because remember, at the end of last week, Justine, you were like, yeah, I've definitely got one line. Definitely.
Yeah.
Which one was that?
Well, it was just the actor of Bryan Cranston.
Cranston. Yeah. So that is the reference to One-Armed Heisenberg. Yeah, because obviously he plays Heisenberg, aka.
I thought the Walt even the first time is that Walter White reference? Probably wrong.
There's a little connection there. That's fine. But it's definitely Bryan Cranston, so he's in this film. Any other thoughts? You're just like, I just have the answer. I have the answer.
Set during World War II?
It is. It is.
That's the Brotherly Troop.
The Brotherly Troop.
I have a feeling we mentioned an actor I picked as a fella
Yeah,
to hang out
entirely
with.
coincidentally. So your best pal, Paul, is Mr. Tom Hanks. And the first line is actually about him. Miller Time for Walt. He plays Walt Disney in Saving Mr. Banks. And the answer to this one is, that would help if I just told you what it was. It's Saving Private Ryan. And he plays Captain Miller, hence it was Miller Time. In the film for him. The middle line, Troop Hunting Brotherly Troop. The brotherly troop that they're searching for is Private Ryan, played by Matt Damon, and brotherly because his 3 brothers have been already. They've been killed in the war, which is a bit of a nightmare.
Nathan Fillion, his brother in the film?
No,
Nathan Fillion's a guy they think.
He's another Private Ryan from somewhere else in the States. The troop hunting them, TROUPE, is basically the acting troop because there's a whole gang of them. Who've you got now? You got like Vin
Giovanni
Diesel,
Ribisi, Vin Diesel,
yeah.
Tom Sizemore.
Yeah, so
Barry Pepper from Crawl.
Barry Pepper, of course, famously from Crawl. And then the final line, as you said, Justine, One-Armed Heisenberg. He plays one of the generals who only has one arm in it, and he issues the order for them to go and bring Private Ryan
Just
home.
like, isn't that insane? Like that cast is so good that he only has like a 2-minute role in it, and you completely forget about it.
It's incredible. Like him, Paul Giamatti, Ted Danson is in there as well. Unbelievable film. And then like an early one for Matt Damon as well, which is cool. So that was last week's High Clue, but this week, you ready? You ready? Ready to rock? Ready to rock?
Yep.
It's going to appear on the screen, so you don't need to write it down. It's
Okay.
fine. Here we go. It's Colourful Doctor, Foxy Mother's Enchanted, Dog is a Genius. So Colourful Doctor, Foxy Mother's Enchanted, Dog is a Genius. And for people... go live now. Straight over, breaking news over to Justine Stafford.
It checks out. We've got 575.
Happy days. I wonder, does anybody... Like, the reason we're doing it, it's a haiku. Like, it's written on it. It's 575, anyway, the syllables. So
we made plenty of mistakes over the while.
We couldn't count
this
syllables
is a vital
for a long
part
time.
of the show, yeah.
Actually, it took me a long time to figure out genius. It was like, genius? Genius. It's 2 syllables. So we're
very
all good.
fitting that you got stuck on that one, isn't it?
Yeah. So for everybody who's listening, the middle line there, Foxy Mother's Enchanted. Mother's is mother apostrophe S. So any initial thoughts? Anything popping in mind? Everybody's got thinking faces on.
Yeah.
Very, very thinky.
The Foxy led me to a certain singer/actress for one role.
Same.
Okay.
And that's why I was thinking that's what I was like,
Yeah.
interesting.
But I don't think that's
Never
it.
had a mother.
No,
Yeah.
because They've never been in anything else, I don't think.
No, I think the person I'm thinking of hasn't been in another film. Or they were in one other one. Eddie Murphy won an Oscar for it, if I'm not mistaken, for it. Or was nominated.
You're all on the wrong track. But anyway, if you know...
I said nothing and I'm still wrong.
If you know the answer, you can get in touch with us on Joe or on Twitter, on the Instagram, and at Big Reviewski as well. And we'll have the competition up on site, and we'll also have those tickets to give away. Exciting show next week. We have none other than the star of The Hustle, Anne Hathaway.
The much-loved Anne Hathaway.
The much-loved Anne Hathaway. I'm a fan of her, 100%.
I'm a fan Hathaway.
Nice. Well,
take myself.
Take yourself.
Wow.
But yeah, anything else? Anything else we need to cover? I think that's
Just how
pretty
are you
much
doing?
everything.
How are we all doing?
Good,
Like, relatively.
fine. Yeah, fine.
Any more Pikachu puns? You can
No,
get in
I've
there?
got nothing. I think it's best if I don't.
Peak on a high.